Hello Summoners, welcome to MainDeck Masters. My name is Jacob, I will be your host for today. We have two games showcasing Blue Mill here for Aquatic Invaders. Marshall on the left will be playing his Blue Mill deck here in game 1, and his opponent on the right will be David playing the set 3 Otherlander build. Now remember, these are pretty early builds of the deck, so they are not fully optimized, but we're here to have some fun and give you all some ideas in order to figure out exactly what it is that you want to play and how to build these decks. Now, we're going to start this game off, I do believe, with David going first, and David is going to drop the best yellow Nexus, Blessed Cathedral. He's going to pass on over to Marshall. Marshall's going to drop himself a Warhammer Gordon. You may be asking me, Jacob, why is that Warhammer Gordon black and white? He had some printing issues when we were printing our proxies, and some of Marshall's cards will be black and white. It's unfortunate, we apologize for it, but we will get that situation sorted out for future videos. Anyway, David is going to start his second turn, play a Spiral Tower and the Wonderland Card Griffin. This is an Otherlander and Fabled Beast, and it can be reduced all the way down to 1 with a pretty decent stat line for a vanilla. So he's trying it out here in this Otherlander deck. He's just going to pass on over to Marshall to play out a second Warhammer Gordon. It's got Crush +1, and at level 2 and level 3 during your opponent's attack step, it's going to stacks any card that is cost 3 or less. They must pay a core in order to attack with it. So he's already crushing David out, making him mill 5 so far. David's going to take the damage, taking himself down to 3 already here. And he's going to start his turn off. We do see a strong draw in his hand. I'm not so sure I agree with the strong draw outside of blue, but either way, he's going to play himself out the Humpty Dumpty, and the spirit that he revealed does not share a cost with the spirits on his field, so he's going to discard it. And Marshall is going to burst that Star Blessed draw, giving him 2 free draws, which is very important for blue because blue has kind of an issue with card draw. David's going to play out a second Wonderland Card Griffin. Just coring himself up here, seeing what he wants to do. Is he going to attack? No, he's just going to pass on over to Marshall. He's setting his field up, preparing himself for future turns. Marshall is going to play out the Ancient Colosseum. It is a pretty decent card, making it to where that whenever the opponent plays a spirit with a wind summon effect at level 2, it will discard the top 4 cards of their deck. The strong draw is coming out. He is going to Graceful Charity, set a card in the burst zone. And it looks like there is a Nirvana and a Mandala, I think, that he discarded off of the strong draw. He's going to pass back over to David. He's at 5 life still. Got a card in the burst zone. He's got a decent sized hand. He's not worried too much. He's just going to pass on over, see what David wants to do. Here on David's turn, he's looking to see what he wants to do. And he's going to core up that Blessed Cathedral so he can get more cards in hand. Hopefully, Marshall will block or attack, and David can block, get one of his yellow spirits destroyed, so he can ramp and draw off of it. Spiral Tower is going to level 2 as well, and Marshall's like, nah fam, I'm not guarding anything, I'm not going to let you get that Spiral Tower proc and put that Humpty Dumpty back to hand, and I'm not going to let you ramp and draw, I'm just going to go down to 4. Good play by Marshall. He wants the cores, because blue is pretty greedy when it comes to cores. Is a very, very greedy color. He's going to play out the Block Golem. This card is a nightmare for low-cost followers. It has such a good stat line, and if there's a Soul Core on one of his Nexus, then it can block anything that costs 5 or less infinitely. Then he's going to be playing down the Enchained Arena. Its level 2 effect is going to stacks the opponent when they swing with anything that is 5 or less. So he does swing with that Block Golem, milling 3, and we do see an Ice Shield get milled out. That is a bit unfortunate. I feel it really hurts when you mill out the Ice Shields. It hurts so much. David is going to block with that Card Griffin. He's going to ramp 1 and draw 1, and Marshall's just going to pass back on over to him. Marshall looks like he's in a pretty comfortable position here. Still has a decent hand size. He's got a nice field. He's got some Nexus set up, so he's just seeing where this game is going to go. David is going to pay 3 to bring out the Wonderland Alice. And that Wonderland Alice is going to be pretty decent. Going to reduce something when it attacks by the however many spirits he has. And if it was level 3, he would be able to, it would not be able to die by battle. I think he's going to play out the Topaz Sanctuary for that reduction and yellow symbols on board. He's just going to pass on over to Marshall. David's not seeing the card draw that he really wants, but Marshall, he is. He's going to play another strong draw, draw 3, ditch 2. You see a Bull Top Dog, a Star Blessed draw that he does not want. And that last card looks like a Drag Golem in the trash. And then he's going to play the Battle Beast Bull Top Dog, the best of boys. Whenever a spirit is milled due to a crush effect, he's going to ramp a core onto any of his spirits. We're going to swing with that Block Golem and crush for 3. David is going to crush 3 out, and it looks like there was not a spirit card discarded by this effect. So there will be no ramp coming out from the Bull Top Dog. David is just going to block with the Pumpty Dumpty. Pumpty Dumpty will die, and he will ramp 1 and draw 1. And he will draw a card from Pumpty Dumpty, I do believe. I think he drew 2. And then 2 more crush from the Gordon. Another Ice Shield we see, and 1 was a spirit, so he will put that other Gordon up to level 2. He was like, man, what am I gonna do here? He's got 3 cards in hand. He's not in a good situation. Marshall is kind of running away with this game so far. David is going to block with the Griffin. And again, he's going to ramp 1 and he's going to draw 1. He's ramping, he's drawing, so he's getting himself back into kind of a better position. But that Gordon's going to come down, mill 2 more, and mill 3. And David is... there was a spirit milled, so it's going to... That Bull Top Dog is going to ramp another core. Going to go down to 2 and flip the Ice Shield. He does not want to be at 2, it looks like. He wants to stay at 3 life. So let's see his hand. We do see a Topaz Sanctuary. We see the Red Queen. What else is in his hand? I can't really tell. A Blessed Cathedral. He's going to drop down another one. Does have quite a bit of yellow reduction due to his Nexus. But let's see what he does with it. Got quite a few cores to work with too, thanks to this Blessed Cathedral. And he's going to pay 1, play another Topaz Sanctuary. Can he get himself out of this bind he's in, though? That's the question. He is going to play Strong Draw. Honestly, I would prefer this to be a Star Blessed draw. I don't like Strong Draw outside of blue. Graceful Charity for 3 just does not feel good. But you got to do what you got to do, I suppose. Like I said, we are testing these builds, seeing how we like them. And it looks like this build, I think, was made by James, and he just wanted to see how the Strong Draw would do in this build. Anyway, it looks like he is discarding a Blessed Cathedral and a Topaz Sanctuary, so it's not going to hurt too much, and then he's going to play the Empress Guardian Red Queen. And its Wind Summon is going to reduce the Bull Top Dog by 2k, and it will destroy the Bull Top Dog. That doggo is no more, and Marshall is going to burst another Star Blessed draw, giving himself 2 more cards in hand thanks to that Wind Summon. The Empress Queen he can exhaust something to give something an additional... He's going to give it itself the additional Wind Summon ability to reduce something by another 2k, I do believe, but it's not going to make much of a difference here. David is going to core up both of his spirits with 2 cores, putting them both to level 2, I do believe, and pass on back over to Marshall. Marshall draws another Star Blessed draw. Looks like he set an absolute Ice Shield in the burst zone. Marshall's not hurting for draw. I know I said blue kind of hurts for draw, but he is not here. He's going to play down the Truth God Mandala, make David mill for 6. It's going to be 3 per Nexus that he controls. And David is milling for 6, and his deck is getting pretty thin. And just seeing the Strong draws and the Star Blessed draws has really helped Marshall out a lot. I really like Star Blessed draw in blue. It helps so much. Helps them get their pieces so much, and he has another Star Blessed in his hand. So that Strong draw allowing him to Graceful Charity his way into getting pieces that he needs, and that Star Blessed draw allowing him to just get that straight draw 2 or draw 4, depending on if he pays for it in the burst zone, is really helpful for blue. He's going to swing with that mandala at level 2 and discard a crush card. It looks like a giant platoon, and make David mill 6. And David's deck is looking thin. It's looking super thin. David is going to guard with the Wonderland Alice. Unfortunately, it's not at level 3, so it does not stick around, and he's going to ramp 2. Marshall, he's just swinging. He's got an Ice Shield set. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to mill you out. I'm just going to keep swinging and mill you out. Mill 3 this time. We see 2 Exhaust Nexus out. I'm sure David would like to see those Exhaust Nexus in his hand, but no, they're in his trash. And then Warhammer Gordon is going to mill 2. We see 2 different kinds of Pintans. And he is going to guard with the Empress and ramp 2 more. And 2 more cards milled. And David is down to like 2 cards in deck, it looks like. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get himself out of this. He's like, yep, show me the Ice Shield. Marshall showed him the Ice Shield, and David's like, yep, that's it for me. You can mill the rest of my deck next turn, pass the turn, and then when I go to draw on my turn, I'm going to lose the game. So a very, very strong showing for Mill here in this first game. Marshall just got everything. Anyway, we are going into our second game. He is playing against TJ, playing Green Gale, and Gale is scary in set 3. It is so scary. Such a good deck. I think Gale is going to be a top contender in the set 3 meta, just for the pressure, the absolute pressure that it puts on. And TJ is a great builder for green decks. I'm actually working with him for my own Gale deck because he's just so good at building green decks. He is the bug man. Anyway, Marshall's going to go first, play out that Oswald, and pass on over to TJ. We do see the Hurricane Highlands in TJ's deck. That Hurricane Highlands is massive, but he's going to play the best green card, Worker Ant-Man, put 2 cores on it with the Soul Core, swing and ramp 1. And Marshall's like, yeah, I'm just going to take this, go down to 4. And we do see a Beam Rifle in Marshall's hand. We see a Bull Top Dog. And Oswald does have Crush, so if Oswald hits a Spirit card on that Crush, then he's going to ramp a 4. So we see an Ice Shield, an Ezza Wolf, and a Swarmarai get milled. And Oswald, actually, I do believe, ramps a card. No, Oswald gets power for every card that gets, for every Spirit that gets milled. And then, since a Spirit was milled, the dog will ramp a 4. I mean, TJ is going to take it, and it's going to go back on over to him. You see a Tokiwa in hand, the Toki 5, an incredibly strong card, but he's going to play out the Hunger Tree. Hunger Tree pretty strong in the Gale deck. Hunger Tree and Mushrantula as well, both pretty strong in the Gale deck, saying, hey, I'm going to give you even fewer cards to work with while I pressure you out with Gale. And we are going to play that Hurricane Highlands, and TJ's going to ramp core with his Worker Ant-Man. Hurricane Highlands, whenever you summon a Spirit with Gale, you ramp cores onto that Spirit equal to its Gale value. So it's just absolutely disgusting. But Marshall's going to guard with his dog and burst that Whirlpool straight out. Since the Spirit was destroyed, he can play it for 3. And then he's going to set another card in the burst zone, bring that Block Golem out, and I do believe he's going to be putting he puts the Whirlpool straight up to level 2 with the Soul Core on it, so that Block Golem is going to be pretty strong on the opponent's turn, and it's going to be able to block anything that costs 5 or less. A very strong suppression on a body. And we do see the mill out of the Worker Ant-Man from the Oswald, and TJ's like, I'm going to ramp core from taking this damage. Let's go. And not attacking with the Block Golem is a little interesting, but I think maybe Marshall's like, maybe he pulls out the Schattenjäger, and if he pulls out the Schattenjäger, I want to be able to guard with the Block Golem. Because the Schattenjäger is disgusting. Let's see what TJ decides to do. He's paying, is that 2? And I think he's paying 2, and the Toki 5 is coming out. You can put 3 cores on it and then ramp 2 off of the Hurricane Highlands. And this Toki 5 with Gale 2, and it's also able to just recur itself from the drop if you have fewer cards in hand than your opponent. It's just such a strong card. But TJ is attacking with the Worker Ant-Man, getting another core ramp in. Worker Ant-Man so strong. He's ramped, what, 3 or 4 cores at this point? Such a strong card. And it looks like we do see a Dream Bomb coming out saying, no, that Block Golem is not doing anything. and this worker Ant-Man is coming through. But in response, we're going to see the Thorn Prison, the beam rifle from Marshall, saying, yes, that is the only attack you're getting this turn. You may have bounced my block golem, but no, you're not getting any further. Let's see what Marshall decides to do. He does play the Enchained Arena out, and he plays the block golem back out. He's like, okay, you dream bombed it. Well, he's back. Guess what? Block golem's back. And let's see what Marshall decides to do. Is he just going to pass, or is he going to apply pressure? He's going to swing with the Oswald. He's going to apply pressure. Crush for 1. We do see the Starblast draw get crushed. Let's see. What is TJ going to do? He's thinking. I can't really see what's in his hand right now, but he's paying. Looks like he's paying 2 for the beam rifle. He's like, no, you're not attacking with that block golem. I'm just going to go to 2. I'm not going to let you put me to 1. Very smart move, because if he does draw into an ice shield, he will be able to utilize that ice shield in the person. So not the full value out of Thorn Prison, but you know what? Sometimes we don't need the full value out of Thorn. He's going to straight cast that Starblast draw for 4, but he has the cores, thanks to Worker Ant-Man and the Hurricane Highlands. Let's see what he draws into. He's paying 3. We do see the Schattenjäger come down. This card is absolutely disgusting. So at level 2 for 3 cores, whenever one of your other spirits with Gail reduces your opponent's life, refresh this spirit. And then at level 3, when your opponent uses an effect to draw a card, any effect to draw a card, refresh the spirit. This card just absolutely destroys opponents. It blows out games, and it's like, I'm going to keep refreshing either on attack, or I'll refresh and use it as a blocker whenever you decide to draw a card. Swinging with Worker Ant-Man, getting so much value out of this Worker Ant-Man. He's doing the Lord's work. And then paying 5 is another Dream Bomb. It's another Dream Bomb. Dream Bomb number 2 onto that block goal. Whew. That's why we play Dream Bomb in this deck. Get rid of the stuff that you can't deal with. We just Dream Bomb whatever we cannot deal with, and then we can deal with it. So that Worker Ant-Man is going to swing for 2k, and Marshall's like, yes, I will use this Ice Shield. And the Dream Bomb's really putting in work against Marshall. He does not have the hand power that he had in last game. He's not seeing his Starblast draws or anything like that. And getting his Block Golem returned to the hand is just really hurting him. Anyway, he plays the Block Golem back out, and another Block Golem. So he's got 2 Block Golem on the field, and Oswald, I do believe he has a Mandala in hand, but I don't think he has a burst. With this field with TJ's field, I don't know about this. It looks like TJ might be running away with this game. He's got the Schattenjäger, he's got the Tokiwa, he's got the Hunger Tree saying, if you want to attack me, you're going to discard a card. And let's see what else TJ does. He has a whole stack of cores, and we do see the Feng Wong in his hand. Easily the best Void Lord. This is what Feng Wong is, the kind of Void Lord that the set 2 Void Lord should have been. It is absolutely cracked, and I really wish the set 2 Void Lords were as strong as Feng Wong, because Feng Wong actually makes a difference. And you see TJ paying the 5 for Feng Wong. I like to call him Feng Shui. And paying the 5, and the Feng Shui comes out, and Gale 3. And with the Hurricane Highlands, it immediately puts it to level 2. And then at level 2, when the effect of one of your Void Lord spirits reduces your opponent's life, bounce one of your opponent's exhausted spirits to refresh it. And then at level 3, when one of your Void Lord spirits reduces your opponent's life, or just this one, I'm not exactly sure, it deals 2 damage. Essentially, it deals 2 damage. So 2 damage plus bounce something to refresh it. Plus, it's at 15k at level 3. This card is absolutely bonkers, and I just wish the other Void Lords were as strong as this one, because then we would set 2 would have been so much better. Don't you agree? Anyway, I'm ranting way too much about it. He's going to swing with that Worker Ant-Man again. Or is he? Yeah, he's just going to swing with that Worker Ant-Man again and say, yeah, I'm I'm ramping another core off of this Worker Ant-Man. And Marshall is going to have that Whirlpool Straight make that Block Golem get plus 4k. So that Block Golem is, I think, 10k right now. and he's going to swing in with the Schattenjäger. The great thing about Schattenjäger is its Gale 2 ability. You swing with it, force your opponent to either take the damage or block it, and then one of your other Gale units swings in, deals damage, and then Jaeger refreshes. This loop of Tokiwa, Jaeger, and Feng Shui is just such an absolute powerhouse of a combo that if your opponent cannot deal with it, they're just straight up dead. And then Tokiwa comes in, swings in with the Gale 2, exhausting the opponent's entire board. Marshall's board is gone, and what's he gonna do? He's gonna lose to the Hunger Tree or to the Feng Shui. The Block Golem does get destroyed. So I think the Block Golem might not have been 10k, I'm not sure, because the Toki is 10k. And he's like, he swings with the Feng Shui, and Marshall's like, yeah, that's it. It's over. I can't really do anything about it. Mill as a whole is a strong deck, I do believe. Being able to drop that Mandala and then mill out half your opponent's deck, basically, is very strong. But if you do not see your draw pieces, it can be very tricky to manage. And as you see here, Gail is scary. Gail is incredibly scary. But I hope you guys enjoyed this game and this showcase of Blue Mill. If you did, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps out more than you think. We will be having lots more Proxy play content for Set 3 coming up in the near future, so stay tuned for that. But for now, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.